It's minus 6.8 degrees outside at the moment. And I don't think I'll be working in the garage today. I've got a few jobs indoors, and I was going to work on that atom, so I'll be bringing my tools in. What's the temperature in the garage? Oh, it's so cold the temperature gauge is not working. That's saying it's minus 7 on this little fridge one, so I'm going to have to take this lot in the house. Well, this is part 2 of the Powapacs Power Your Adventure Atom Solar Generator or Battery Pack. Managed to get it apart. It's not the easiest thing to get apart. So, to be perfectly honest, I would say it's beyond economical repair in terms of labour and time. You've got to be very careful with these batteries because you've got terminals like this which could short out. There's 2 small wires on the battery, and they're taps on the batteries. These are cells parallel in series up in there, and they tap off down the battery for monitoring the charge condition, and they tap off at 3.7 volts and they actually tap off at 7.4 volts on the battery, which is these 2 small wires. Whether there's any electronics in here I don't know, but I'm putting this to one side so I don't short it out. I'm just going to put it over there. Now I've got the main board out, but it's not easy because what they've done is to help prevent the wires coming out of these little sockets and things. They've covered them in goo, and when I've tried to pull the plugs out and things like that, it's actually destroyed this socket here, which is going to be a bit of a sod to try and get the wires back on there. But what I'm trying to identify is there's no relays to switch the output, you know, the 12 volt for the cigarette lighter, so what I'm trying to identify now is which of these transistors or MOSFETs do what, and there's possibly 2 on here. I can't read the writing, and they may be for charging or they may be for this inverter. So I'm going to try and identify what does what first, but I'm a little bit out of my depth with this, and in terms of time I've spent on it already, it's probably not economical to repair. But what do I do with it? How do I dispose of it when it's got a big battery in there? Whether I can reuse this battery pack, I don't know, because it's actually glued into the case. So to pull this off, I'll probably rip all this sleeving off, so it'll probably all end up scrapped. It's a real shame, but I can't take the risk of using it when it's flickering, because it could damage my transceivers, and one of them's £100, and if I put my friends on it, it's a £500 radio, and if the cigarette lighter socket is flashing like that when it's off, I can't risk it damaging it. So do a bit of detective work now and find out what this thing is under here, and find out which transistors sort of do the switching. And it's a double-sided board, or it might be even multi-layered, but there's 2 devices in here. Oh, I can see the connections here, and they actually go to the transformer. So possibly that these 2 devices here are the inverter transistors which switch this 220 volt transformer here. Yeah, it looks like it. Right, let me do that then. Let me get the meter on it and try and work out what these are and see if the windings are open circuit. Well, I found some really bad soldering here, and I don't know whether you'll be able to see it. I'm trying to hold the magnifying glass, but directly in the centre of that screen, although it's focusing, where that blob comes down, there's a component wire. Let's see if I don't know if I can see it. There's a component wire here, and it should be in that hole, and it's soldered directly onto the chip. Now I don't know if you can see, there's a lot of gloop or flux left there, and that's been, those two devices, whatever they are, been out the board and new ones put in. Just there, it's dead centre of the camera. So it's been bodged, and this big lump of solder on this side, you can see it's not soldered properly there as well. So that's probably where the fault is. Now these two devices on here go straight to this transformer, and this is the inverter part. I've no idea what these are doing over here, because they go to the AC side there, onto that. And that is a 400 volt capacitor there, 22 microfarad. So I'm assuming that these on the end do the switching. So what I'm trying to find is the path the 12 volt goes. These are the connections for the transformer and the switching transistors, which are on the heatsink. So there's got to be a high current feed, and normally if it's high current it'd be a large track area. There's a device there, I don't know what that is. See if I can read it on the magnifying glass. Okay, well I've now found devices which do the switching. There's one there and one there, and they're rated at 90 amps, and they do the switching of the 12 volt. And this one does the switching for the cigarette light outlet. The device is called a HY19PO3, and there's one there and one there. This one does the switching of the cigarette lighter socket and I believe the USBs. This one is associated with the charging. And so there's more than one fault with this board, and the closer I look, I see quite a few poor soldering joints. I'm not sure what this is under here, so I'm going to have to remove the goo and see what it is. I'll do that next. Now the capacitor that was under, the component that was under all this goo is a capacitor which has been added to the circuit. I also noticed there's been some repair work, and it looks like this semiconductor here, the IC's been replaced. There's some missing capacitors here under the goo. I thought I'd broke them off when removing this goo, but they're missing. So whether there was a fault with it in the past and they've had to modify it, I don't know. But the closer I look at this, the less I'm liking it, and it's yep, this is the end of this video. I'm not doing any more on it. It's going in the bin. I'm not even going to attempt to reassemble it. It's just not worth it. You know, I shall keep the battery. There's nothing else really salvageable for my liking. So yeah, this is the Atom solar generator bit of kit, and I've ordered some connectors for it. Wish I'd have ordered them now. So thanks for watching. A little bit disappointing, but that's the way it goes with modern electronics. Throwaway society.